welcome to Sweet Tea and Thread. This is podcast number 5. I'm Shai.
And I'm Bethany. Thank you for our returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers. If you'd like, you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. And give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you like in the comments.
Yes, the comments, please. Even if it's a, hey, y'all. So,
we appreciate hearing from you.
We really would. So, today we'll start with our finished projects. And I finished my socks that I had last podcast, but I didn't bring them with me. They've already been given to their recipient, and we'll insert a picture. But they were just my regular socks that I make with Judy's Magic Cast On and the short row heel, and I just did a small cuff. I did it out of the Liberty wool, and we have some gorgeous colors in that.
Yeah, and the fun thing, I picked this skein specifically because it's very deceiving. You look at it and you think, oh, it's just plain yellow, but then you kind of open it up.
Yeah.
So sometimes the colors are hidden. You kind of have to do a little open heart surgery to see the colors.
Yeah, this yarn has, as we've said before, has a long color repeat. And I showed the pillow that I had done with the crocheted pillow with the granny square. And
that was out of this color, actually, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I love about that, like on the granny square, it looks like you've changed color every row, but your yarn is doing all the work for you. So
that's always a good bonus.
Yeah, but I love it to make socks. It works up really well, and so far my children haven't complained about it, so they're loving it too. But yeah, we'll insert a picture for that to show you the finished socks. And then my other finished project are some Pom Pom party slippers, and did a pair of those. And these are by the Wooliers, and of course the pattern can be found on Ravelry. But it's a really quick knit. It comes in 2 sizes, a small, like a small medium and a medium large. And they're knitted flat up until you get to where you join it together at the top and knit that in the round, and then stitch the heel closed. So it's really a great, quick gift type of thing if you need something like that.
And they're really cute with the little pom-poms too.
And of course the pom-poms, and we've shown a lot of pom-poms. We really like pom-poms. Whether we've made them with yarn or whether they come furry.
As like faux fur or something. Yeah, we love pom-poms.
Exactly. So I haven't really been, I have been knitting a lot. But we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But so those are my finishing projects are kind of, quick knits when I'm taking a break from the big project we've been working on. So.
And she used Big Liberty wool for those, and she'll kind of show you she'll show you all of our color options that we have at the store.
Right.
But I also have used the Big Liberty wool before, and I love it. And I made this gorgeous cabled hat.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to say this was easy.
But it sure is pretty.
This is like an intermediate, I would say. If you are a very ambitious beginner, you can do this pattern. This is the Traveling Cable Hat by Purl Soho. It is a free pattern on their website. And I used 3 balls of the Big Liberty wool for this. And I think I used a size 7 and 8 needle, I believe. 7 for the rib and the 8 for the body. The only reason I say it wasn't easy, I had to take a couple of the rows out a couple of times for these cables. And that's just simply because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't have my printed pattern in front of me. I was like, oh, I've got this.
Yeah.
You kind of bring it upon yourself.
Yes.
But this is just a beautiful, just large, oversized cabled hat. And I really love this big cable that runs up, in between these 2 smaller kind of roped cables. And the decreases are really nice because it kind of carries a little bit of that cable pattern up through the decreases. So, and I like this hat without a pom-pom. A lot of my hats I've put a pom-pom on, but I like it without a pom-pom. If you choose to put a pom-pom on it, it would look great with that
Oh yeah,
too.
it'll look great with a pom-pom, but it's nice to really show off the cables.
A natural colored pom-pom, one of them, like the
Right.
really big ones, would be really fun on this hat. But
Yeah, and so these are the colors that we have in this yarn, and Bethany used this one for her hat, and this is what I used for the pom-pom
what
slippers.
are the numbers?
So
This is 1043 that I used for my hat.
yeah, and the slippers I did 1020 is the color number. So, but I think they're very pretty colors, very kind of
They're like
neutrally, muted.
color palette, and
Yes.
it would work for either of these projects beautifully.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it would. All right, and then let's see. I think that's our finished project, so we're ready to move on to our whips.
So before we get into like our big
Yeah.
kind of whip, I don't want to say section, but kind of the big fun part of our whips, I'll go ahead and show you this. So you may have known, I don't remember what episode we mentioned it in, but I'm working on the daily sweater by Andrea Mowry. If you look it up, I think it's just under the daily. But it's a big, oversized, striped, chunky sweater. I'm knitting this out of the Forget Me Not Plymouth cotton. There's fuzz all over it, but originally the pattern was just a 2-color stripe, and we decided that I would do mine with a kind of fun little pop of color. So what I've gotten done is the front and back and the shoulder seams are put together, and of course the ribbing around the neck, and I've got one sleeve done, and you can tell this is like a drop sleeve, so you're not knitting. You see all my
There's not a lot of shaping to this,
I'm
so
a
it's
stitch
just a
marker
straight up split for the sleeve.
Very boxy.
And very boxy.
Super easy.
No real shaping.
No.
Except for decreasing for the sleeves and doing your ribbing for the neck.
Yeah. So I actually sat here today before before we podcasted, and I just quickly did the ribbed cuff on this to kind of say like, I finished the sleeve because I was supposed to have that done last night.
Even though it's a work in progress, we need a little more work done. To show our progress.
So that sleeve is done, and these I'll just have to poke them through to the inside and weave them in. I don't know why I ended up having them on the outside, but all I have to do is pick up the sleeve on the other side, knit that, and weave in all my ends, which is a lot.
I tell you, one of the things I love about this sweater is this 3-needle bind off for the shoulder.
I've never done a 3-needle bind off.
Oh, did you not?
No, and so I was kind of concerned that it would be a little difficult, but it's super easy, and it gives this really cool little exposed seam at the top, and I know some people don't like that, and I think there's a way.
You simply do it on the wrong side. Somebody that did the test knit, because I went, after we did the test knit, I went back and looked at what everyone had done, and somebody said they didn't want that seam on the shoulder, and so they had done their 3-needle bind off on the wrong side, and it looked like it just been seamed together. So,
but it is super easy, and to me it's a little bit easier than seaming, because I seamed that baby sweater that we showed last time. This was easier. So I really like it, and I can't wait for the rest of it to be done, hopefully. Well, the goal is that I will have this done by next podcast for y'all to see, so
maybe we'll wear our dailies for the next one. It'll still be hot, but
at the end of August we'll crank the air
we'll crank the air conditioner down, and so that we'll be comfortable.
Like 65 degrees in here. But this is what little bit I have left of the skeins I was working on for the sleeve, and of course I have a pink skein, but this yarn is really nice to work with. Super soft, super easy. And this is a great first sweater knit.
It really is. It really is. One other work in progress I have that I've shown before is the Dashain by I've forgotten who it's by already.
I don't remember.
Anyway, and I haven't really knitted on it. I did start the back because I thought, I could take the back of it with me and knit on it because it's just straight stockinette, and would have that anytime I have to be in conversation with anyone like Knit Night, those kinds of things. So that
because the other work in progress that we
the
have
work
is,
it's
not a Knit Night friendly program.
No, I have to
a
have
lot of people.
Yeah, I have to have a little more concentration for that. So but I didn't bring it to show because there's nothing much
else
to see.
Yeah.
No more than we showed in the podcast where we introduced it.
But you're using flax.
Yes.
So she's using a linen yarn for it, which I can't wait.
I was hoping we were going to get that ready before summer was over, but hey, it's still warm in September and October, so there's still time.
You know, in the South, we can still be in our shorts and t-shirts in December.
I mean, true about
literally.
That. Yeah, true about that.
So we've celebrated Christmas and we have not worn sweaters and long pants and all of that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just we have a very strange climate.
Yes.
But.
All right. Well, then I think we're ready to move on to our. Shall we pick them up and just show them at the same time?
Yeah.
How far along we've gotten? We're doing the knit along here at the shop.
Short cables.
Oh no! And I moved mine to a bigger cable just so we could show it better. But,
Oh, wrong side.
What?
Here we go.
Ready? That's all right. All right, here we go. Yeah. So we're about the same spot.
No, you're further than I am.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you've already completed. You see this part right here? This is the end of section 2.
Yes.
You've already completed that. You're into like the last
I'm
section.
into the last section. But just barely. I've just done the first part of the last section.
I have finished through. Each section is divided into more little sections. They're numbered.
Yeah.
So I'm on I just finished 17.
And I finished 21.
Yeah. So
section
you're
21.
You're
But hey, it won't take all that long. Once you get the hang of the short rows and, you've got those boxes that have some instructions like a 2-row repeat kind of thing. And it doesn't take you too long to get through it that you start memorizing, the red box. And you remember, the red box starts with however many stitches.
Yeah.
And the orange box starts with...
And you just go back and forth. I still have to mark mine just to make sure I did the correct number.
Right. Oh, well.
But...
Yeah, and if you don't mark it, you can be taking stuff out and having to re-knit it.
Oh, like you did.
Yeah. I've re-knit a couple of sections on this for miscounting, even though I have markers every 10 stitches.
And I don't have a marker.
She doesn't have any markers.
That's the funny part. I've taken out one little section. And how many? And you have markers.
I have markers, and I still have to go back and rip something out and go over another 10 stitches because I forgot to count something and missed. But our knit along is going on until the end of this month, and truly, I could have this finished by now. But my children came in for a family week together at the river, and and I didn't work on it at all the whole time they were there. So, but I could have had it finished by now if I did just one section a day.
Well, and I could have had more done at this point. But one thing I will mention about this, sometimes it takes a little bit to get into the rhythm. And I found, I went out of town kind of right after we started this for a little trip. But I found that I kind of got overwhelmed, even though the pattern was the pattern's really well laid out.
It is. It really is.
And it's not that complicated.
No.
It's just I was overthinking things. So if you get really overwhelmed with it, I put it away for about a week, maybe a week and a half, came back to it, and I can't put this down now. Like, it was hard that's why I knit the ribbing on the daily sweater today, because I just have wanted to work on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of instant gratification in a way.
Yes.
As far as you see the shaping and how each of the little pieces work up and everything, and you're just like, I can do one more section.
Right.
Oh, I can get to the end of, that box or, whatever. So.
Yeah, and it's fun to see where your colors land.
Yeah. Because originally, I think did we show these last time? I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just the barely little beginnings of the red. I was kind of like, man, that's not a lot of red. And then you get down here and it's like red.
Yeah.
So
I told her, I said, just wait. It's coming.
Yeah, and I know. And like, you can...
Yeah, you can see all the red now.
Look at it.
I mean,
I'm about to get to a red section, and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait till I get to the red. So,
I think yours is a beautiful color combination. It really is.
I really like it. And I have another color combination in front of me.
Yeah.
So, you can tell what you used.
Oh, yeah.
But I am using Berroco Medina for these kind of stained glass short row sections. And I'm using Bamboo Pop for the main color.
Yeah.
And here's my other color combination. I have 2 options for the Bamboo Pop, but 1 for the Medina. I love this.
It's
these
beautiful.
earth tones. Because this other one is kind of like a little bit of a bright. So I thought I would change it up with the earth tones if I do another one, which I kind of want to do. Another one. I haven't even finished the first one.
We haven't finished our first one, and we're already talking about, ooh, what am I going to do my next one in? So. Yeah.
So, like a pumpkin orange to go with it.
Remember we talked about pumpkin. I think maybe that might be a Christmas present for me. Don't you
really like it? Do I have time, though? Not to start back to school.
That's
the
true.
other one is sage green.
And that's gorgeous, too.
So either one of these, really. Look at the...
Well, there's just so many colors in these Medinas that you just pick the color that you like the most or that you think will give the best contrast.
Yeah, and like with this one...
To the colors.
The reason I picked this kind of soft blue really was because for some reason I looked at this red up against this blue and I was like, I wonder how that would look. That would probably look really good. And then in these kind of bluish green sections, the twist on this is almost like 2 different colors that are applied together. So you can see just little glimpses of that softer blue. It's a little bit more of a turquoise, but it's still in the same color family. So it works.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a beautiful color combination, and the turquoise and red has been a color combination that's has been having a heyday for the last few years.
I didn't even realize it.
In interior design.
I'm on trend and I didn't know it.
I mean, it's almost becoming a classic.
Oh, well, perfect.
Color combination.
Perfect. I mean, I know. Well, think about Christmas. I see a lot of that turquoise and red together.
Yeah, fabric that we have here for Christmas.
A lot of turquoise.
A lot of turquoise and red.
Maybe subconsciously I realized that would work because of that.
You did pick that out before we got the Christmas fabrics in, though.
Yeah, but we've had similar colors.
Well, that's
past,
true.
So.
We have.
But anyway.
So.
And then you're working on.
Oh yeah, and mine. Is out of the Urth yarn, and it's just a lovely 100% merino wool, and the Harvest is the solid color, and the Uneek fingering is my variegated. Yeah, that's the Harvest, and we've got quite a few colors in that, and then
a lot of different Uneek. But this was originally, when we were talking about doing this as a knit along, I thought I would knit it out of the Urth yarn, and I was going to do this combination.
And that's going to be gorgeous too.
And I might make 3.
We won't be knitting anything else but the
time.
butterfly shawl.
Like I have time. I might knit 3. But yeah, I originally was going to do these 2, but then we decided we wanted to try to give somebody else an option for like non-wool.
Yes.
And the Medina and the Bamboo Pop just really went well together.
It does. It works up beautifully together.
And then I pulled these out. That might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a softer color, and this one's really bright and like punchy, and it's not really as bright on screen, but it is like in your face, almost electric.
Yeah, someone is doing theirs out of that, and they did. Let me run and get it real quick. The olive green with it. Yes, She came in the other day.
I think the olive green's behind one of those other yarns.
That's the pistachio.
Oh. Oh, the olive green.
Look at that.
Okay.
Because it's got just a little touch. See how it pulls that out?
So she was pointing out this very tiny
Yeah,
little.
it's just got that little, and so
It's
really,
like 2 strands right here.
yeah, I mean, it's
enough.
Yeah, it's enough. You don't want anything that's going to be too close to what your solid is, because then it's just going to be a blended blob, because you want your contrast color, your solid,
unless
to
you want it
stand out.
to kind of blend a little
and-
bit more,
yeah,
and
if
I've seen options that are done that way, and
That's
they're
true.
really pretty.
Yes, they are made more monochromatic. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Monochromatic color, and they can be very beautiful. So,
But
like I said, this knit along's going on till the 31st. So if you jump in, that gives you another 3 weeks.
this could
Another and really you can get it done in 3 weeks. It's and we've already had somebody asking. They've got too many projects going on to jump in on this knit along, but they're already asking. And so, what are you going to do the next knit along on the butterfly shawl? So
that might be sometime next year, though.
Yeah, it'll have to be next year. We've got some other
Other
thoughts.
ideas in the making. Yeah.
So, all right. So that's all of our works in progress. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of products that we're using in the shop. We've shown lots of pom-poms. Some we've made, some we haven't. But we do carry all the pom-pom makers from Clover. I love these pom-pom makers. The thing about them, and I use this green one, these two, a whole lot. I can't decide if I use the green or the blue. The thing is about these pom-pom makers that you don't have to do a lot of trimming. I mean, I've done them where you use the cardboard and wrap, and all that kind of stuff. And then I feel like I've trimmed away about half of the pom-pom by the time I feel like I've gotten it fairly symmetrical. But with this, when you make them with these Clover pom-pom makers, there's very little trimming to get them, and you can even do it itty bitty, which would be great for like little baby booties or something like that. Or get you a really really big pom pom.
I kind of want to just get this and see. I mean, I would. It's gonna use a whole skein of yarn, and then some.
And then yeah.
But they look at the cute little. You can even do little crafts with them. They have them in little flower pots as like faux bushes.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to take care of the plant.
Yeah, but I've tried a lot of pom-pom makers, and these have really become my favorite.
Yeah, I've used the blue and the green quite frequently. We have a couple of them here at the shop that Ashley's used in the past.
Yes.
So yeah,
those are really going to be your most popular size. It's a 2.5 inch and a 3 3/8 inch is what this one makes. So, and that's going to be your most frequent, popular, whatever size. But yeah, the others will be super cute.
but you have the itty bitty kind.
The itty bitty.
I like the itty bitty.
Yeah.
Anything miniature is usually 10 times cuter.
Oh yeah.
Like the other day, I found miniature sweaters that you put on those.
On the eggs?
Like not the eggs. The little mannequins that you get for drawing.
Oh.
I kind of almost wanted to cast them on. I have to show you. The other thing that we wanted to share, we've shared a couple of different needle sets that we have, but we've mainly talked about the Licca needles, which are the wooden ones. And if you don't like knitting on wood needles, we have two, more than two because of the chalgoo, but we have two other options for you for metal needle sets, and they're both by Addie. And so I'll show you this. First of all, let me just start from the beginning. This case, it's beautiful.
It is a beautiful case.
It has a little zipper pouch on the back, and in this pouch you have all of your cords, and you have, the little, you get like a little, look at this, little stitch, well,
gauge, yeah.
It's a gauge. It's a needle gauge, but you also have like a little stitch gauge down here that you can kind of count your
2-inch, yeah,
row gauge. But so it has all your little accessories for it in here, and then you open this up, and it snaps. So it snaps here, and then it snaps on either end, and it folds out. And you have this down here is to lengthen your cord. So like if you have two 16-inch cords, you need something longer, but you don't want to go buy one. Just, you know, you screw this on one end of it, on the other end, and you put your needles on those ends. But these are the needle sets. This set is the short rockets, and they have kind of a little bit more of a, they're not a sharp stiletto tip, but they do, like, you're not gonna poke yourself and it's gonna hurt, because it does have kind of more of a little blunt end. But they are kind of, what would you say, chiseled down?
Yeah, it's kind of a long tip.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long tip, but it's not a stiletto point. So.
But I mean, it helps you to just catch those stitches really easily, and you know, it's really great.
They're beautiful needles.
I wouldn't mind having a set like this.
Yes, I want all the sets.
No, we'll just get all the sets. The other one we have from Addie is going to be the basics. So it's the same type of case. You get the really nice case. You have your little zipper pouch that has all your cables in it and everything, and then you open it up the same way. This still has the paperwork in it. Let me just kind of,
yeah.
Nice little addition of this. This is a little, like, lapel pin, or a little pin that you can stick on a bag or a little jacket somewhere. But these are going to be a lot longer needles. These are not shorter needles. These are, you know, the longer needle length. So
yeah,
if you prefer, like if you find that when you're working with a short needle, your hands don't feel very comfortable around them, maybe you're getting a little cramped, a longer needle might be easier for you.
Yes.
This has the same little bar that you can attach the cords together to make it longer. Again, these kind of come up, they have a longer tip, but these are definitely more blunt than the rockets that I showed just a second ago. So if you like a metal needle, but you don't like a lace tip, I guess you could call it, then you might want more of a blunt tip. These still have a longer tip to them, but they're more blunted on the end. So, and these again are really nice, beautiful needles.
Yes, they are. Alrighty.
Is that everything?
I think that's everything. I did want to let everyone know that on our last podcast we were talking about the Appalachian baby and whether or not their patterns were, or where their patterns were available. And at the time we thought they were only available on Ravelry, but I have since found that they are now available through Appalachian Baby's website. So I did want to let you know about that. And
yeah, because that's another yarn that we love.
Yes, we do love Appalachian Baby.
We've made a lot of those projects. So
it's a very nice yarn.
And their patterns are usually very well written too.
But I think that does it for us today. And our sweet tea is from just down the sidewalk from our little shop. Sweet Basil. It's a lovely little lunch place. We get lunch there quite frequently. And
soups and sandwiches, gourmet salads.
They'll do a plate lunch every day. And then some specialty sandwiches that are just for that week.
Yeah, and it rotates. So
yeah,
there's always a good variety, and then there's the standards.
But we enjoy their food, and we enjoy their tea. Today it was peach tea. So very good. Yeah. So, but we thank you for joining us, and hope you have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.